All right, guys. Good morning. Good morning. Hope you guys are well today. We're starting the stream a little bit later because we got CB consumer confidence and Jolts job report coming out later this morning. But for now, it's pretty slow. Yeah, so CB consumer confidence data and Jolts coming out this right around 10 a.m. So we still got a couple hours. We also had Neo earnings coming out this morning, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, Neo missed on both metrics here. Look at Neo. So Neo missed on both metrics, down at 10.50s this morning. They showed 51-cent loss per share for Neo. I'll have to go see what the EPS was, but I know or what their revenue was, but they lost per share in EPS. Best Buy also beat. I don't see any other data releases here. Hold on, let me see. So yeah, Neo missed their quarterly earnings. Let me pull this up so we can see exactly what it was. We also had Best Buy. So yeah, Neo showed so sales missed as well. Sales showed 1.21 billion, missed the 1.35 billion estimates. We also had Best Buy this morning. We'll put this up on screen as well. Best Buy ended up showing 122. Let's see. So yeah, Best Buy. All right. So here's basically all our numbers this morning. What's up, Han, Paulo, Shepard, Ricky, Jay, Hannah, Yair, Liv, Type, Pawn, Alan, Alyssa, Zach, Breeze. What's up, guys? Yeah, so just kind of waking up, drinking my coffee. Anything else that I missed today? I don't think I missed anything else today, but we also had PI and PDD. We had Big Lots. We had Smuckers. We had Bank of Montreal. We had Bank of Nova Scotia, Shoe Carnival, and some other stocks dropping their earnings today. Most of these are out already. Yeah, I don't know what we're going to get. I know Tesla dipped down. There's Neo. Tesla dipped down a little bit this morning, down to 238. It's had a red day yesterday. We could look at like Meta, which had a pretty green day. It was kind of a break-even day. It wasn't like a really green day, to be honest. It was kind of break-even. Amazon had a red day, but then rebounded towards the end of the day and ended the day pretty flat yesterday. Google looks like it was a green day, slightly green in pre-market as well. Disney, another slight green day, not a huge green day, but slight green nonetheless. All the way back up to 84s. VFS, Vinfast. Yeah, man, what a crazy run. This thing has been on just a crazy squeeze. What a huge move. Anything else that I missed? AMD and NVIDIA ran. And so that's nice. We're actually green on NVIDIA and AMD. So remember, we bought NVIDIA yesterday at like the 461 level. And we're at about 470, 466. We'll just sit in this one, see if it makes another run. Yeah, the Q slightly green day yesterday as well. Slightly green in pre-market today, but it's mostly flat this morning. Tesla, it's not that it should do anything, RJ. I think with different sectors, right? It's gonna kind of cancel out. So like, for instance, if NEO does poorly, the EV sector is gonna do poorly. And so there's going to be a lot of sympathy movement in other EV stocks just because they're both in the same sector. NEO and Tesla are in the same sector, and so they might move with each other, believe it or not. Very rarely does the market move on competition sympathy, right? So like, very rarely will the market, where like if a competitor goes down, that stock, like the stock they're competing against, goes up. Very rarely does that happen. Most of the time it's the opposite. Most of the time, if a company's competitor goes down, that said company goes down as well, because they're in the same sector. And so weakness in EV is weakness in EV. It doesn't matter whether they're competitors or not. That's what I usually see. Right, that's what I typically see. It's not always like that, and I'm sure you have the other thing happen as well, the other side of that happen as well. But from what I see in chat, let me know what you guys think. Like, what do y'all think? But from what I specifically see, stocks move in sympathy. They have a positive correlation with each other. So like, if one moves up in one sector, the other one moves up in that same sector, regardless of whether they're competitors or not, just because the sector is sympathy. Yeah. VFS is a crazy squeeze. It's VinFast Auto. This is a recent IPO, and so this is an IPO, is what it is. So you could say it's like a scam, but it's just an IPO, and so it's not anything. It's just a company trying to find its correct price. And IPOs are risky and volatile. And as you guys can see, this is a daily chart. So prior to yesterday, this thing had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green days in a row. It had bounced back well over 100% in gains. It's up huge, and yeah. Unless someone big says they rather go for one instead of the other. Yeah, for sure. What is the float? Let me check. Let's see. So the float of VFS is about 7 million. Yeah, so you're right. Well, I don't know, dude. I'm showing a big discrepancy. I'm showing TD Ameritrade has it at 2.3 billion shares, which is way different. It's not a small float. But Yahoo Finance and FinViz have it at about 7 million shares. I'm going to go with the 7 million share estimate is probably correct, just based off of the range of this thing. Very rarely does a 2 or 3 billion share company move like this. And so I'm going to go with probably in the millions shares. Where's AMC at this morning? Yeah, it's definitely sideways. All right, so yeah, AMC all the way down at 11s, man, just looking rough. Yeah, I mean with AMC, it's not AMC is not a small float. I've been telling people this argument and repeating this argument over and over and over again, but AMC has never been a small float company. Even after the split, like AMC's float has fluctuated in between, 500 million and a billion or 1.2 billion over the last few years. It's never been under, 400 or 500 million shares in the float. So AMC is just not the same thing as GameStop. A lot of people got involved with AMC because of GameStop and they thought it was going to do a crazy squeeze. But again, the fundamentals of AMC are different. The larger the float, the less volatile, a company is, the less likely a squeeze is going to happen. But when you talk a lot of young retail traders into buying a company, you got to make it seem like a squeeze is just on the horizon, right? But it's very difficult to get a 500 million or a billion share float stock to run up crazy numbers. But again, a lot of the traders that got talked into some crazy squeeze conspiracy with AMC were mostly retail traders that don't really understand fundamentals like that. You can see it in what they're saying. And so again, let me know whether you think AMC is going to squeeze or not, but it's not the fundamental stock you want if you want to get a crazy parabolic squeeze. Like GameStop, when it squeezed, had like a 50 million float, like a very small float. AMC had 500 million, so literally 10x what GameStop had, which means it has 10x less volatility and squeeze potential. So, but a lot of people don't. I'm long on AMC as well. I'm in AMC. I hope it goes up, but again, one of the risks right now with AMC is bankruptcy. Bankruptcy. Let me beat the music real quick. All right, guys. All right, VFS is at 92 or 82. So we'll see if this one runs here as well. We're looking at the Q. Q's hard to bounce, I think. I think the Q's building up a nice support level. Yeah, so the only thing I'm worried about, the big thing I'm worried about is bankruptcy. All right, so Tesla's dropping sympathy with Neo. Yeah, that's what it is. So Tesla's dropping a little bit with sympathy. Yeah, so we got Case-Shiller coming out at 9, Jolts at 10. The Case-Shiller house price index is not a big report whatsoever. It's just not a big release. But it's something to watch. I mean, we'll pay attention. I'll cover it for sure when it drops. But it's just not a big report, not a big release. Yeah, today's slow, but the rest of this week, every day this week afterwards is busy. So like today's slower, but like tomorrow we got ADP non-farm employment change, GDP data, pending home sales. Thursday we got PCE data, and jobless claims numbers. And then Friday we got non-farm payrolls, unemployment, ISM manufacturing and services PMI. So busy week after this. Next week's actually going to be kind of slow, it looks like. But that's all right. I think we got like GameStop earnings and some other stuff. We got GameStop and C3 earnings that week. All right, so let's look at all right, guys. So fake bankruptcy with more diluting is what it is. Let them pay off their debt. Just be properly hedged for it. Yeah. Yes, the Case-Shiller. I mean, I wouldn't really say the Case-Shiller is super important. It's not going to influence. The way I look at it, it's not under the lens of day trading. Yeah. So, what the lens I look at it under is how much is it going to influence markets, right? I'm looking at it in terms of like how much it's going to move markets, what the market is looking at, like if the market's going to find it as important. And the Case-Shiller is just not a big release. It's just not a super important release. You know, it's somewhat important, but it's not like crazy important, if that makes sense. Case-Shiller expected to show up minus 1.3% year over year. Case-Shiller house price index measures the change in the selling price of single-family homes in 20 metro areas. So basically, home prices dropping about 1.3% year over year. We got some monthly readings. They're not moving too much, but yeah, Case-Shiller data drops at 9 a.m. We'll cover that too. Yeah, I'm drinking coffee, of course. Also, y'all do me a favor, hit that like button. I'd love to break 100 likes before 7:30. Got about 200 people here, not bad. And I'll probably start the stream a little bit later on slow days like today. Again, next week we got some earnings to talk about. So like this week is slow for earnings, but next week we do have some stuff. So like next week, for instance, we have nothing really big. Like earnings season's done. We got BBIG earnings on Monday. So BBIG earnings drop Monday. Maybe that'll be relevant next week. Monday's Labor Day. So the market's closed. So we're definitely not covering that. Tuesday, we get GNS earnings. Nothing really crazy. Tuesday evening, we got Zscaler, GitLab, Asana, Health Equity. Again, pretty light numbers. Wednesdays when the big ones drop, we got Tupperware in the morning, which is not big at all. Okay, but we got Tupperware, it might be a really fun one to watch though, because Tupperware had that crazy run. Whatever happened to Tupperware here? Because look, here's Tup right here. Tupperware had this crazy run to $6 from 61 cents. Went up 10x to $6 a share from 60 cents. It's sitting now at like 240s, but it's held a lot of the gains. It's up 4x what it was previously. So, yeah, Tupperware might be fun to watch for earnings. The big earnings, though, is next Wednesday. We have C3 AI. C3 AI, and then GameStop. Yeah, Tupperware will be interesting. And then GameStop earnings, again, C3 and GameStop earnings. So here's C3. C3's had a little bit of a quiet couple weeks after NVIDIA's craziness. Really, NVIDIA's been the crazy one. But NVIDIA might be an argument for a dip here. I don't know. No, I didn't see it. Jobs data is the important one. Well, there's not really any. Like, the Jolts job report's probably the biggest release today, although the biggest one is subjective, I guess. But Jolts, I would say, is going to cause the biggest reaction in markets. AMC. Yeah, AMC traders getting crapped on social media. Yeah, the problem, man.
You're one of a kind.
Yeah, everybody's looking for apes. I got my shares, I think. The Rivian CEO looks an awful lot like Steve-O if he wore a suit, you know. Yeah, the Rivian CEO said, quote, Rivian CEO said, quote, I think the reality of buying a combustion-powered vehicle is sort of like building a horse barn in 1910. Imagine buying a Chevy Suburban in 2030. What are you going to do with that in 10 years? Gas stations will be slowly disappearing. It's just weird. I don't know, man. I think people underestimate how big... I think what they're underestimating is big oil's influence over the world. You know, it's not going to be easy to get rid of. It's not going to be easy to get rid of cars, internal combustion motors, at least.
Different doesn't mean anything bad. It just means that you're special.
Can y'all hear this song? Honestly, this song's... I gotta change the song. It just means you're special. All right. Who's like, again, I just kind of put a playlist on. I did not pick out that song. Seriously. Yeah. Losing money sucks, but you got to be willing to lose it if you want to win. Yeah, for sure. All right, guys. So yeah, Nvidia dipping down a little bit this morning. Green day yesterday though, so that's nice. Tesla again weighing on a Neo weakness. Neo came out. You can see the numbers scrolling at the bottom of the screen. They missed EPS, missed sales. I don't know. I've listened to that old music so long. I just got to switch it up a little bit. People really like the old music though, man. People seem to really like my music. No one cares about EV except for the US and a few other European countries, I guess. Well, I mean, in terms of world influence, those are two pretty big, countries and areas. People care about EV. Again, EV will grow simply because it's more efficient. But the question mark we have to have here is, what is big oil's influence? Again, big oil runs the world, man. Like, don't get it twisted. Like, big oil certainly runs the world. And there's a lot of propaganda on both sides of this argument, for and against EV. There's a lot of propaganda on both sides that I specifically see pretty regularly. Again, the thing to understand is that EVs, when you take everything else out of consideration, if the environmental impact is arguable, they're going to move to efficiency for determining which one wins. You got to move to efficiency, and efficiency wise, EV is the obvious choice. It's just simply and purely more efficient. The only argument against EV is that they're arguably worse for the environment. But again, that's just an argument. Others are going to say they're arguably better for the environment. But when you take those arguments out, and they're comparable, but when you take those arguments out, you got to look at pure efficiency. And in pure efficiency, EVs are much more efficient. They're faster. They have better mileage. They're quiet. There's just a lot of arguments for EVs there in efficiency. And so I think over time, that argument's going to win. Efficiency argument's going to win. And I think EVs are going to become more and more common. But again, remember, big oil runs the world. And so they certainly do not want... they certainly don't want that. Well, yeah, EVs are still going to use some lubricants, of course. It's not like we're just going to go lubricant free. Of course, we're going to have some lubricants, but that just because we're still using lubricants doesn't mean that oil is going to be business as usual. Like, oil is going to lose tons of money if the world goes pure EV. If the world goes pure EV, the oil companies are going to lose trillions of dollars. And that's an obvious objective result of the world going, EV. Now, we're always going to need lubricants to a certain extent in anything and everything, from whether they're EV or not, we're always going to need lubricants. But there's a difference between needing lubricants and using in gas-powered vehicles. And so I think that's important for people to understand. Big oil certainly does not want EV to happen. They certainly do not want EV to become the big thing. And regardless of whether people still use a small percentage of, regardless of whether people still consume a smaller amount of oil for their, consumption, big oil does not want EV to take off. And I think that's a very self-evident thing. Yeah, that's probably true. Pawn says once they figure out how to charge the solar with nanotech and have to sit at charging stations and not have to sit at charging stations. I have no idea anything about the election. I'm not really a super political guy. I don't really, you know. Tesla's still at 238s. Disney all the way back up over 84s. AMC starting to come back a little bit. It's at 1120s. It's trying to come back some. Again, I think if it could hold $10, I think $10 is probably the big level. Yeah, so we're watching the crypto news as well. There's a lot of people that said they found out that Vinfast became the world's third most valuable automaker today. It's just kind of crazy. Company has only sold a little more than 100 cars in America, which is crazier. Now it's a market cap of almost 200 billion, which is more than Ford, GM, and Volkswagen combined. Which it's not going to hold, though. I think this is one of the most obvious shorts. Of course, you ask people, they're going to say, "Oh, it holds," but I don't think you can short this. Let me see what put options are looking like for VFS. All right, so yeah, you could buy a put option. They're super expensive, but you could buy one October 20th put option right now. It's about five grand just for one bundle, which is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, no. I mean, it might work, but again, put options, the risk is too much. Like betting 5 grand, I think it's almost certainly going to work. I don't think VFS is going to hold these gains at all. It's a $70 put option for October, so it's got like a month, a little bit over a month and a half to come back down, and I'm sure you'd be able to sell it pretty quickly anyway. But yeah. Yeah, Logan Paul, Dylan Dennis. Who do y'all have here? I mean, we all know if you've ever seen Dylan's actual boxing, he's a terrible boxer. Like his boxing's not bad, but it's not good. He's a submission artist, right? So he's a jiu-jitsu guy. So like his boxing's not that bad, but it's certainly not good. But yeah, what a crazy move for Vinfast here. I don't know anything about that company, Wilfredo. Yeah, I'm the same way. I think Logan's gonna win, but I'm not a fan of him. Paul can't box either. Paul can box. Like, is he a great boxer that's gonna win an actual belt? No, but like he can certainly box. If he didn't get KO'd by Floyd, right? And it doesn't matter if he's bigger. If he boxes the greatest in the world and actually puts up a good fight, he's got some skill in boxing. I don't think that's really arguable. I think Paul's got some skill, despite how many people hate him. You know, Logan Paul has some skill in boxing. I think that's very obvious, but there's a difference between that and him being able to, Dylan Danis being able to win. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry, not Jake Paul, Logan Paul. But Logan's a good boxer. Logan fought Floyd and didn't get KO'd, which is, impressive nonetheless. Yeah, I mean, people underestimate. What's up, John? How you doing today? I was wondering your thoughts on Tesla. Do you think it has a chance to get down to 200? Yeah, it certainly has a chance to get down there for sure. I mean, whether it will is a different story. I don't know. But yeah, somebody's talking about Jake wanting to fight Mike. I think that would probably go pretty bad for Mike. Again, like one of the unfortunate truths of life is that when you age, you lose your chin most of the time, and so like you got a lot of like badass old men who who are great fighters when they're young. As they age, they lose it, and I'm not talking about in your 30s or even in your 40s. Once you hit your late 40s, early 50s, you're gonna lose most of your ability to keep up. Maybe Tyson's different though. Tyson, but if you put an old man in there with a young guy like Jake Paul, they're probably gonna lose. I know like old men don't want that to be true, and they might say, "Nah, Tyson's the greatest," and I get it. But like again, age does play a factor there in terms of conditioning. I think Jake probably takes that if he fought Tyson. I know it's not what everybody wants, of course, but like I think Jake probably takes it. It doesn't matter how big somebody is or anything like that, right? You get somebody in there that's late 40s, early 50s, or older, they're gonna have a hard time beating a young person, unless they have like a jujitsu skill of some sort. It's a regular fight, but yeah, not always though. Like again, skill will there is a line. Like I've seen that video of that old man knocking out that guy, but yeah. Nah, Tyson wouldn't. Should I cut Neo? I bought it at 11. I really have no idea about Neo. I know it's down a lot. It had bad earnings, bad EPS, bad sales. You can see the numbers at the very bottom of the screen. Oil powers the EV chargers. Big oil guys aren't mad at EVs. I think they're worried about it to a certain extent. Mike Tyson's almost 60, I think he would probably get beat up by Jake. And again, I think it would probably go something like this, right? And maybe I'm wrong, but I think it would go something like this. I think that if they played smart, I think they would start the fight, and Jake would let Tyson tire. You know, Jake would jab him over and over again, use good footwork, stay on the outside, and just, you know, let Tyson's energy drain. And then I think after that, he would start to pick it up a little bit once Tyson was tired, and probably be able to end it. Again, people underestimate age and how that plays a factor here. You know, if anybody watched Tyson versus who did he fight, man? Tyson fought recently. Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. I think is who it was. Yeah, I think it was Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. They both looked pretty rough. Like they weren't. Roy Jones looked especially rough. You know, Roy Jones just did not look. You know, and I grew up playing Fight Night. You know, so like I love Roy Jones, but yeah, they didn't look good. They didn't look bad for their age, but if you put them in there against some young dude with knockout power, it's gonna be a bad night for them, I think. Hey, y'all hit that like button if you haven't already. And maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I am. All right, guys. Spy at 442.50s, 442.50s. George Foreman. Tyson didn't go easy on him. Again, they're all almost 60 years old, so he was tired, man. They're gonna run out of energy. Let's do a poll. Again, I like Tyson. I dislike Jake. Okay, I hope I'm wrong here, but I think again, I think what happens is the bias of somebody that's older, right? People that are older want to believe they still got it. They want to believe that they can still do it, that they can still keep up with the young guys. And I get it. I get that bias. And so a lot of people are going to be really biased in Tyson's favor because they want to believe that Tyson would, you know, still be his former self and do great. And I'm not saying he wouldn't be. I think Tyson's probably in pretty good shape, and there's a chance that he wins. But I think the far greater chance is that the young person ends up, you know, putting his hands on him. And yeah. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, it's all good, Wayne. Yeah, again, I might be wrong too. Again, I'm speculating here. Again, I hope I'm wrong. I hope Tyson knocks out Jake. I dislike Jake. I don't think Jake's necessarily like a great boxer either. I think he's good enough to keep up with some decent level boxers, but I don't think he's like the best boxer ever. I think if you put him in there, I celebrated when was it Paul Fury or John Fury knocked him out, or not knocked him out, but banged him up a little bit. I was just hoping they didn't rob him, but yeah. And it's all good. We can agree to disagree. Neo breaking down here, guys, and it is weighing on Tesla. Again, Neo all the way down to 1030s, just looking really weak. All the way down to 1030s. Yeah, I believe that. So soothing. When you get old, you become slower, tired. Yeah, you become slower. You lack conditioning, and your chin goes. And so those three things are pretty bad. if you're fighting a young guy that knows how to fight, Um, yeah, I don't think Tyson ever takes that fight because I think Tyson knows. Anyways, hey, we do have the K Schiller HPI today, house price index. That date is dropping at 9 a.m. and it's almost 8 a.m. now, so we got about an hour before that drops. We also have the Jolts job openings report that drops at 10 a.m. We also have CB consumer confidence data that drops at 10 a.m. Again, the big story today is NEO EV company uh, breaking down on earnings. You can see their earnings at the bottom of the screen scrolling here. But yeah, NEO breaking down on earnings. That is weighing in on all these other stocks as well. That did affect all this stuff did affect Tesla as well on the negative side. Rivian down a little bit as well. A lot of EV companies are down big. And so AMC moving back up a little bit this morning after dropping pretty big percentages yesterday. Again, if we look at AMC, it's at 1125s, dipped all the way down to 1090s at one point yesterday before bouncing back, but it's been a really weak couple days. AMC traders are scared. Yeah, I see SISI, but it's a penny stock. I just don't trust it. If I look at it, it's a penny stock gap up. I just don't trust it. Maybe we get some good movement, and maybe it's low enough float that you can day trade it. But I made 19K yesterday. Hey, congrats, life long. Why is Nvidia down? Nvidia is pretty flat over the last few days. Nvidia had its crazy earnings report and then dipped down a lot and then bounced a little bit yesterday. So we're still green relative to yesterday. If you look at Nvidia's charts here, you can see Nvidia opened the day here, and we are now up there. So Nvidia is technically green relative to where it opened yesterday. I don't know what's going to happen now though, but Nvidia is weighing on markets for sure. We can see something like Apple. Apple had a pretty good day over 180s, bouncing back up a little bit. We are holding some Apple trades here. Small little trade. We got like 20 shares of Apple, but we're still in it, and we're still green in it, so we'll take that. Yeah, I mean, there's too many penny stocks that get manipulated, though. So there's too many penny stocks. Like the problem with penny stocks is this. The problem is penny stocks is that nobody ever knows what they're going to do, but yet everybody always says they're going to go up. Again, if you look at how many people have pushed penny stocks to me lately, it's just I hear people call out all these crazy penny stocks, and very rarely do they ever do anything of note. Yeah, very rarely do they do anything of note. But yet everybody always talks about them like they're just going to go crazy. So apparently, I don't mean to comment on this, but apparently Bitboy was fired because he relapsed. He's been fired from his company, Bitboy Crypto, citing financial damages and substance abuse. They put out a release here for Bitboy Crypto that said yesterday BJ Investment Holdings, the parent company of Hit Network, took decisive legal action in removing Ben Armstrong, which is Bitboy, from the company and specifically the Bitboy crypto brand. This difficult decision is a accumulation of a prolonged effort to help Ben during his relapse into substance abuse, as well as reconcile the emotional, physical, and financial damages he has done to the employees of Hit Network and the Bitboy crypto community. So yeah, man, he's fired, citing substance abuse. He basically relapsed. What I'm gathering is they said he was 10 years sober and he relapsed. And so, it's a bad sign. I wish him the best. I hope he gets better. And yeah, let me know what you guys think in the chat, but that's rough to hear. Yeah, and I don't really follow Bitboy a ton, but All right. What platform I'm using? I'm using Toss. This is good for crypto. Yeah, I don't like any of the penny stock pump and dumps. I think that, again, I think most new traders, retail traders, get wrapped up in penny stock BS nonsense constantly. So they get talked into buying crap. They get talked into sitting on crap. They just kind of sit on terrible companies and they hope they're going to go up. I don't know how many freaking videos I've seen. X penny stock is going to go up 1,000%. This penny stock is going to fly, in all caps. You know, like, honestly, you could genuinely go back in time. Listen, you could genuinely go back in time. Look at how many stocks these companies, or these what is this? I'm sorry, I'm not supposed to have any words here. It's supposed to be instrumental, but yeah, I don't know how many penny stock companies these YouTubers have pumped up crazy amounts, and then if you look at them now, they're like 95% down. They're down into the pennies. They're actual pennies now. So like most of these penny stocks that people pump never do anything, and you have to understand this. So it's like, if you, my issue with this whole thing is, like, if you're a new trader, right, and you don't understand, right, if you're a new trader and you just don't understand, you might not understand like how persuasive some of these videos can get. So like, if you're a brand new trader and you're looking to invest a small amount of money, say you got $500 and you want to invest that, you know, so what are you going to do? You're going to go best ways to invest $500, best stock to invest money into, or whatever it is. You Google that, you're going to get a bunch of penny stock crap that people are just shilling heavy, you know. So like, you watch that video and they're going to make it seem like they've got this crazy big news release that just dropped on this really obscure penny stock and that it's going to go up crazy percentages. You just got to buy it now. If you look at those companies now, they are all down huge percentages. Like, they're all down big. But new traders, like retail traders, are the ones that fall for this. They're the ones that watch those videos. They're the ones that fall for this. And their logic is wrong. It's flawed. Their logic is that they think because they have a small amount of money that they have to invest in cheap companies like this. That is the opposite. You can buy a couple shares of Apple and do much better long term than buying 1,000 shares of a crappy company. You know, you could buy 5 shares of Google, 5 shares of Amazon, and hold long term and do noticeably better than you would be spending that same amount of money on a crap penny stock and just getting more shares. And so that's the biggest mistake I see new traders take, or new traders face, which is that they think because they have small amounts of money that they have to invest in small times in like penny stocks. And that's the opposite. You can buy 5 shares, 10 shares of a stock and do really well if it's a blue chip, as opposed to a penny stock, which are almost always going to fail. Don't the SEC invest? Hey, what's up, Douglas? Yeah, I don't know, man. Yeah, I really don't know. Nvidia's still down. We'll see if Nvidia flies today. If Nvidia drops enough, I'll probably add some more to it, in all honesty. But it depends on how much it drops. Like, if Nvidia drops some more, I'll probably add some more to it. But yeah, no, not really. Not really a market I watch. It's just, again, the U.S. market's the largest market in the world, and that's where I live. And so that's again, I invest in what I know, and I understand U.S. companies the best. And so I'm just gonna stick with U.S. companies mostly. So yeah, Bitboy Armstrong fired due to financial damage and substance abuse. How big is Bitboy Crypto though? Like, it's not a public company, is it? Let me see. I gotta look this up now. It's not a public company, and so like, what's strange is they're firing him like he's some type of big public company. Wait, does Bitboy even have a YouTube channel? Okay, there it is, Bitboy Crypto. Yeah, it's got 1.5 mil subs, so it's a big channel. Yeah, I mean, but the thing is, though, like, okay, they're a big channel. But what do they do? Like, outside of being a social media brand, what's the other part of their company? Like, what else do they do besides just being a social media brand? You know, that's my question. It's like, what else do they do? Hey, what's up? What's up, Bulldog? Maybe you can answer this a little bit better for me, bro. Hey, thank you so much, Bulldog. Hope you're doing good, bro. But yeah, so Bulldog, my question. So I hear the news about Bitboy Crypto. Like, I hear the news about Bitboy getting fired for substance abuse. My question is, what are they aside from a social media brand? You know, so like him getting fired from his company means that somebody else, like, meaning they must mean they have a board or voting rights. Those are usually only seen in large companies, like public companies, right? The only time you're ever really getting fired from your own company is if your company's public, right? And you have a board that makes those decisions. My question is, what is Bitboy outside of just a social media brand? Like, and they're a big brand. They've got millions of subs, but like, what are they? Like, I guess, what's the justification? You know? I really started building into NVIDIA yesterday. Huge firm on Fox said the first time NVIDIA is now held by more investors than Tesla, which is interesting. Yeah, for sure, Ray. I mean, that's kind of how it is. Glitch or real candle on Neo? It's a real candle. You're probably talking about the 8 a.m. scrum, though. Sometimes you get big, crazy candles that show up right now. I don't see any on my chart. So this is what the actual chart looks like. Again, Neo hit 1020s at the lows. But yeah, I guess my question is, like, how do you get fired from your own company if it's not public? I'm going to ask this on Twitter. Maybe somebody else can help me. Yeah, I don't know here, man. I'm trying to figure it out. Yeah, so again, I mean, I understand the company could be run by others. Yeah, if you want to answer this, post on Twitter. Again, we asked this on Twitter. If you want to answer this, here's the link. We get pushed out of private companies all the time. I understand that. But I guess like, I guess my thoughts on it are this. Okay, so like, so you have your own crypto channel, right? Bitboy Crypto, right? So you've got your own crypto channel, Bitboy Crypto, right? Okay, if you're the founding person of Bitboy Crypto, like if you're Bitboy and you're the founding member of Bitboy Crypto, how do you not retain 50% plus of your own company? You know what I mean? Like, I would never design a company that I run, especially like a social media brand, in any structure in which I don't have at least 51% and I have ultimate decision-making power there. Again, maybe it's just me. I like to be in control of my own brand. I don't like anybody else to be in control of my own brand, and I'm never going to put myself in a position where anybody else is going to be in control of it. And so my question, I guess, there is, how do you structure your company into a point where you don't have the controlling stake? You know, and so the only thing that makes sense is that he chose to step down. You know, because he struggled or whatever. He chose to step down. He let somebody else step up and take it because he chose to step down. That's the only thing that makes sense. Bitboy has a crypto coin as well. Gotcha. Again, let's look at Tesla here. Tesla's trying. We do have the HPI, the house price index, dropping in less than an hour. Again, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I just think I'm wondering how you get pushed out of your own company if it's not public and you don't have a board. Or he relapsed, stole something from the company and got clapped. Yeah, but if it's his own company, how do you steal from it? You know, I'm just confused. Again, that would mean he didn't have a controlling stake in his company. You know, and if that's true, he made a bad structure there, I think. Yeah, so Rolls-Royce has revealed a second limited production drop tail called Amethyst. It cost around 30 mil. Bro, I'm not spending 30. I don't care how rich I am. 30 million on a freaking car is dumb. Again, if you haven't already, bro, what I know, dude, is you never, ever. Here, guys, y'all have to understand, never use Ox George for anything, ever. Okay, Ox George is sending people bots on Twitter. OX George, he's sending people bots on Twitter. So he's literally sending out fake viewers to try to grow, and it's a terrible person. Looks like he's shouldn't. Yeah, I would just be careful. Ox George is a scammer. Do not do anything that he sends. Yeah, so again, somebody said, Superfly Bradley said, private companies also have the same member control agreement as public ones. If partners had controlling interest, they could remove home with a vote. And I understand that completely, but my point in this is that that's what doesn't make sense. If you're a social media brand and the brand is you, Bitboy, why in the world would you give anyone else controlling stake of your own company, especially if it's a again, let me know what you guys think. How the Angels doing, man? I haven't seen this for a while. Apple and Tesla bouncing back up a little bit. SPY testing that previous price right here. So SPY right around that previous close. Yesterday, we really didn't have a good time in the market. AMC traders mad at the SEC instead of mad at Adam Aaron. So the SEC files its first ever NFT-related lawsuit against Impact Theory for unregistered token sales, a landmark case that could set a precedent for NFT deals. Man, the SEC is just what they're coming out. They're coming at everybody with their hands up. You think now's a good time to buy Square? Maybe do long calls out? Yeah, but I don't know, Michael. Michael says to me, it sounds like he sold himself out. Total wreckage of addiction, maybe to keep his habits going. Yeah, but I mean, listen, man. When you got a company that has that has that much reach, he's making at the very least. I would say Bitboy is making at the very least 500,000, 250 to 500K a year, running that channel. I would say at the bare minimum, you know. And again, I'm basing this off of like he's much larger than my channel. I know what I make running this channel. At the bare minimum, Bitboy is making at least $250,000 to $500,000 a year, and so I don't know. I just don't think he did that. I think the most likely thing is that he struggled with addiction and he chose to step down and let somebody else run the company until he gets clean. You know, I think that would make sense. You know. I'm an AMC holder. I'm not mad. I'm hoping it turns around. It was such an amazing, well company before government forced them to shut down. They never, ever held debt. I want to support their return. Yeah. Hey, good luck, Godfather. Adam Aaron is quieter than a mouse right now. If AMC starts pumping $20 today, guarantee he'll post a brand new open letter. Yeah. He's getting a lot of heat right now is what it is, you know. Square. Okay, sorry. Let me take a look at Square. So Square's pretty cheap here, man. They had the Hindenburg short report earlier in the year, and they're kind of right back to those levels. I don't know. I think it's probably pretty cheap right here, to be honest. But like, I really truly don't know what it's going to do. I think anything could happen. I think Cash App is getting kind of diluted almost with other companies like that. Yeah, so this person said, I don't know, parent companies are involved, so one could assume they funded Bitboy brand and have control. Yeah, again, man, that's why I don't ever take money from anybody. Like, I've had people that came at me and wanted to buy beginner trading and just have me work as an employee. Never. MasterCard hit new all-time highs yesterday. MasterCard hit 407.40s. Look at MA here. Look at MasterCard. MasterCard. Wow. Yeah, so again, somebody said, I don't know parent companies involved, so one could assume they funded Bitboy and have control. But again, my response to this is like, it makes sense. It just seems like a bad business move to have a parent company in which you don't have controlling stake of your own brand. Social media brands typically don't require funding unless there's software involved. Like if there's software involved, maybe. But like, it does make sense to me. Again, as a social media person myself, right? And again, my brand is noticeably smaller. Although, like, you know, we're smaller, but the logic's still the same, I think, in building. But yeah, MasterCard broke highs yesterday. Yeah, so I'm watching the Tesla AI. Self-driving, autonomous, full self-driving. It looks good. My question is what is the ceiling of technology growth? You know what I mean? Like that's my real question. It's like, what's the ceiling of technology growth? Like at what point do we reach a level at which the world's looking like the Matrix, you know? I have Square for our shops and love it. I also do outside markets that can run businesses straight off a phone and tap credit cards. Yeah. Yeah, for sure, Michael. Makes sense, dude. Yeah, I mean, I'll look at a simple 75, but again, I have no idea what's going to happen. Don't base your trades off of what I say. I might be wildly wrong. Not an investment professional, not liable if you lose. Always make your own assessment, trade responsibly. I have no idea what I'm talking about. Yeah. Even if it's your brand, if you want to make it big, you might need to bring in investors. No, that's not true. The only way you really need to bring in investors is if you run software, right? Like if you want to start a software company, that's one thing. It's like bring in funding, but there has to be like software and like tech involved. If you're just running a social media brand, you know, and you're the brand, like Bitboy, you're the brand is you, you know, you don't need funding. Again, and again, this is coming from somebody that runs a channel that doesn't have software, right? But I don't know. Yeah, for sure, Manny. What's up, Emmanuel? Hope you're doing good, bro. All right, Jolts job report coming out in about We still got like an hour and a half, but still. Jolts report. Yeah, I was really impressed with how SQ ran on the phone, checking people out. My wife's tattoos, and I'll take resin pieces and overall retail stuff to vendors. Pop markets was super easy. Yeah. Well, sponsors are fine. Like, I have sponsors, right? But again, I would never, ever give a sponsor controlling stake of my company, or any stake for that matter, unless they gave me a piece of theirs, you know? And so, yeah, sponsors are one thing, but funding is different. Funding is for a stake of your company. And so I just don't know why you would need funding unless you're building a software of some sort or something like that. And maybe that's what's going on again. I don't know. Love you. Have a good day. Florida getting more weather problems. Yeah, the hurricane out in the Gulf is close. All right. Yeah, HE, Hawaii Electric, bounced up a little bit yesterday, but very volatile. And, I heard the news that the power got back on in some of the houses over there. So looks like BJ Investment Holdings owns Bitboy. Yeah, but why? I guess is my point. Like, why? Like, why does another company own it? Like, what would pressure somebody to sell their stake in there, or sell a controlling stake in their company to somebody else, if it's just a social media brand? Again, I don't know. I'm not saying that's my question. Again, I really don't know. Yeah, so the SEC suing Impact Theory for selling NFTs. If you look at the actual details here, it says, quote, "Now as we're building out this IP, imagine that you could have gotten in Disney when they were doing Steamboat Willie, and that's how we think of the legendary tier. That's how we think of this whole first drop, quite frankly." So again, the SEC specifically referenced a quote in which they compared their company to Disney, which is a security. And so they're following up on that, saying Impact Theory also underscored that this purported value would be derived from this company's efforts, and that Impact Theory would then use the proceeds from the offering for, quote, development, bringing on more teams, and, quote, creating more projects. They said, quote, "But yeah, I will make sure that we do something that is, by any reasonable standard, people got a crushing, hilarious amount of value." And the SEC needs to leave the crypto market alone. All right, we're at 1430s here. Yeah, that's my guess, is that it had something to do with yeah, I mean, I understand Liz, but my question is, why would he sign a deal like that? Again, I guess my point is like this, okay? So my point is like this. In this modern age, you can monetize whatever you're passionate about without the need to sign a deal with bigger companies. Like, you don't need a record deal anymore. Not like that. Like, skateboarding is a perfect example for this, because I used to skateboard, right? So skateboarding, back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, if you wanted to make a living off of skateboarding, right, you had to basically get sponsored by another company and have multiple different sponsors paying you as your boss, kind of, and they would pay for you, and pay you money and pay you a salary, basically, for promoting their brand and their product. And so you ask, like, why do you need a sponsor, right? At the time, you needed a sponsor because the sponsor had to create videos. They had to create videos for you. You know, you didn't have social media, you didn't have an iPhone camera back then, and so you needed some, like an editor. You know, you needed a camera guy, you needed all these different resources, is what you needed for a sponsor back in the day, right? And the same is true with all these other avenues of business in general, right? Is that you needed backing, you needed financial backing because you didn't have the capabilities to produce things yourself in that age, right? But let's fast forward to today, right? You don't need a sponsor in skateboarding today. You know why? It's because you got a freaking iPhone in your pocket that is a better editor, a better camera than anything they had 20 years ago. And you can start your own brand on social media, and you don't need a sponsor to do it. You can basically be your own boss now in this modern age of social media. And so when we reference that to Bitboy crypto and like what's going on, again, the real question is, why do you need financial backing? Again, if he has the only thing, there's a couple avenues that make sense, right? One of them is if he's developing his own cryptocurrency, right? If you're developing your own cryptocurrency, that might be a path in which you need financial backing. You need sponsors. You need somebody else to manage it for you. Again, I would never give them controlling stake, which is the question there. Like, why would anybody else have controlling stake of the Bitboy brand? But again, that's the question. You know, software is another. Like, if you're creating a software company, you know, you're going to need different people to help you run it. But again, the question is not whether you need backing. The question is, why would anybody else have controlling stake? And again, my guess is that he set this up himself so he could get clean. You know, I don't think he actually got fired. I think it was more likely he stepped down and he's trying to get clean. I work for a record label. Trust me, artists need a label. I don't think they need a label anymore. I think you've seen a lot of successful artists, musicians that create their own brand, that create their own label. And I think in the modern age, that's going to become more and more common, to where record deals, I think you're always going to have deals for like the big artists, but like I think you're going to see a lot of independent, brands sprout up. Yeah. Yeah, the artist, the influencer formerly known as Bitboy. And again, we can look at Tesla. Again, Apple started to try to push up. It's now technically red on the day. Here's Apple. In 30 minutes, we do have the Case-Shiller data coming out, so we'll see what that shows too. Yeah, we can look at Bitcoin and see what's going on there. Bitcoin at 26K. Again, AMC is another one to watch. It's fighting back here. It's back up to 1150, so it's doing better this morning. It's still not good, I would say, but it's doing better for AMC. Again, AMC all the way back up there. Let's see if it holds this VWAP here for AMC. It's right at 1130s. Yeah, I'm not really about penny stocks, though, NASCAR. You know. Yeah, and if y'all haven't already, check out Top Step. If you want to day trade, but you want to limit your risk to where, you know, most day traders lose money. If you want to limit your risk, yet still learn and still have the potential to make money doing it, check out Top Step. Top Step funded program for futures. They give you a demo. They test your skill. The base one's a 50K demo, and if you can hit 3K in profit on that 50K demo without losing over 2K, so a 2 to 3 ratio, and as long as you follow their rules, they fund you between 50K up to 150K with a 90% split. And they pay out millions and fund thousands of traders a year. And in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P and what's called the E-mini. You can day trade the NASDAQ and what's called the NQ. You can day trade the Dow and what's called the YM. And you can day trade currencies, gold, silver. The patterns are very similar to large cap patterns in day trading. Yet again, there's no PDT restriction. You can day trade short, buy market, sell market, all that stuff with no PDT restrictions. Really useful for traders and a great way to limit your risk. I can't guarantee you're going to make money. I'm incredibly biased in their favor because they pay me money as a sponsor. But again, I think it's a great way to limit your risk. Most day traders lose. And so you can either put up 5K yourself and risk that, or you can have a much smaller risk. The base combine on Top Step's $49. You can check it out right there if you want to help support the channel. Again, they are a sponsor. I'm definitely biased, but genuinely useful for traders in my opinion. Why is MasterCard at all-time highs? I think crypto weakness. Let me see when their earnings came out. When was the last MasterCard earnings? Okay, July 27th. Okay, so it was like a month ago. So a Steve Jobs signed check sells for over $135,000. Yeah, banks don't like Bitcoin. My problem with social media, dude, is that like everybody, like the filters are getting out there. Like listen, it's like you see people who are like 60 years old, yet they have baby faced on social media. And it's like, bro, everybody knows. Like people look like freaking they're glistening from filters. And it looks ridiculous, man. At what point in time do we stop this? Like, listen, I've got wrinkles under my eyes. I've got crow's feet on my eyes. Like everybody's got wrinkles, man. Why are we pretending like we don't? Like it's one thing if you're like 30. It's another thing if you're 60, yet your face is wrinkleless. Like that makes no sense, man. At what point do we say, hey, this is bad for us to do this? You know, I get it. Nobody wants to look like, you know, but just, Jolts is at 10 o'clock. So Jolts is at 10 o'clock. Yeah, it's called Top Step. You can see the link in the description as well as the link in chat. MasterCard at all-time highs because $1 trillion of credit card debt is in the books. Neo earnings. Neo did pretty rough on earnings there. AMC pulling back to the VWAP here. Here's Neo. Neo did pretty rough all the way down to 1020s. SPY broke down to 442s, but then bouncing. So yeah, the SPY basically fought all the way back to where it was here. So again, here's a 180-day chart. If we zoom out, you can see the SPY still up really nicely. Yeah, I got a really good idea. Let me see if it'll let me. Will it let me? Let's see. Edit. Tools. Got a great thing to post on social media. All right, guys. So upload this. Yeah, so the problem I have here, guys, is that here's my issue with this long-term chart of the SPY, okay, is that right here, what do you get? You got people saying, the market is going to crash, guys. The market is going to crash. Guys, the market is going to crash. They say that all through here, right? And then when we have this, they say, see, I told you the market was going to crash. And it's like, bro, the market has gone like this. And they said the market was going to crash all in here. And so even though we're much higher than when they said that, they still try to act like they're right. This happens every day. I see this constantly. Very interesting as well. But again, you got to understand, like universally, there's always people pretending the market's going to crash. Let's see if we can draw on this. Yeah. All right, so again, NIO weighing in on the EV market. Here's Tesla. Tesla at 437. So, although Tesla's up, we can also look at like PayPal here. PayPal doing pretty well. Walmart, Target. Target's still doing okay. Google dipping down a little bit. Microsoft at 320s. It's just been such a crazy move for Microsoft. Look at AMC bouncing right at the VWAP. All right, guys. So actually, we can exit this. There we go. Yeah, so let's look at the SPY here. AMC's still holding at that VWAP level, right around that 1130 spot. SPY bouncing back up a little bit. AMC's trying to hold. We're actually green on AMC this morning, red on the trade though. Again, Apple consolidating under that VWAP here. Maybe we'll day trade some of it. Let me catch back up on chat. Expectations for gold today. Remember, we do have the Case-Shiller data, house price index. So we do have the Case-Shiller data dropping this morning. All right, so yeah, the Case-Shiller data. What else do we have here, team? We got Apple. We got Jolts, CB consumer confidence data. Jolts today. All right, so again, we got let's see, K Schiller at 9 a.m. Yeah, we got the K Schiller at 9, Jolts job at 10 a.m. That's the only big reports. AMC still holding at 1141s right now. Let me catch back up. We should talk about Amazon instead of AMC. Where's Amazon at right now? The last time I looked at the PE ratio for Amazon, it was just really high. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you could probably find silver for less than it's worth. The question is the time spent going to be worth it in that regard? I think, you know what I mean? Like, that's the question is the time spent going to be worth it? Like, you can find good deals everywhere, but the question is it going to be worth it to spend the time doing it? You know, because, you know, a lot of the time you're spending time and energy, and you're just not really making what you would be if you worked minimum wage. And so the question is, is the time spent worth it, justified, you know? All right, guys, again, we do have the okay, guys, we do have the K Schiller data dropping. K Schiller data is expected to show up today at minus 1.3% year over year. K Schiller data is supposed to come up at 1.3%, minus negative 1.3% year over year. Again, last time prior to that, we showed minus 1.7%, so a little bit of improvement, or not an improvement, but a little bit less. So all right, look at AMC and look at the SPY back up here. I'm going to short the SPY a little bit right here, I think. All right, 25 shares short. Take 50 shares. All right, so we got 50 shares short of the SPY. We'll see if this rejects at the VWAP like we want it to. It's pre-market, so we got to be careful. We don't want to push too heavy. Nvidia still trying. Amazon at 130s. I remember when Amazon was struggling to hold 100. All right, but yeah, we're on 50 shares of the SPY. We'll see if this holds. We'll probably switch over to futures after this. What's the best Forex option to invest in? I have no idea, stupid. No idea, brother. Sorry. Nvidia's back up to 465. Tapped 467s almost. All right, so we're moving over the VWAP here on the SPY. I'm not going to hold this a long time. It's a very small position, so it's a small trade. I don't want to hold this forever. But again, we do have the Case-Shiller data dropping in a couple minutes. All right, so we're probably about to cut this. We'll let it test a little bit more. Small little trade. I wanted to see if it rejected the VWAP, but if it starts to push over this, we're just going to have to get out. Could be worse, though. I mean, it's not like a huge loss. It's just 50 shares. I mean, 50 shares is not a small position, but the movement is relatively small here. So, like, we do 50 times 442. It's a $22,000 position. So it's not a small one necessarily, but we'll give it a little bit of work. We'll see if it gets over the VWAP. All right, so the SPY actually moving under. So we're now under that level. All right, so we are getting a move under the VWAP here. Just depends on where the trend starts, to be honest. But now we're flat on the SPY trade. All right, so we're slightly green here again, 50 shares. AMC did dip under the VWAP. Currently dipped under the VWAP. OnlyFans owner. Yeah, I mean, they're taking off, man. They're the last like big website that really got some huge runs. All right, so we shorted the SPY at the VWAP here. We're also in futures trading the NASDAQ. All right, so again, SPY's pretty flat again, and again, we will cut this very quickly if we need to. Let me know if you like the music. It's kind of new music. I'm going to put on my old playlist, I think. It's not bad, but it's not really good either, I think. Yeah, NASDAQ SPY starting to surge back up here. I don't really like how this movement's happening, so I'll probably cut this. Consolidation. Very close. AMC trying to make it back over VWAP, and it did. It's at 1135s right now. So AMC over VWAP now. Yeah. Very close to cutting the SPY. Although it might retrace a little bit short term. We'll see if I find anything. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to use Spotify. I only use license-free music. I just can't take the risk of using anything else. So everything you hear here is license-free. Well, I mean, I think we got a couple different trends here. I think one of the trends that I'm looking at right now that I'm actually trading against here, it's one of the reasons I want to cut this, is this little trend right here. You know, I think that's a little trend that we can see. Yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and cut this. It's just not worth the risk. So we're going to get out a little $13 loss. But we do look like we're trending up. Yeah, so look, there's the SPY starting to move up. So we start to see some reversals here, which is kind of good for my swing trades. Bad for my day trading, but good for my swing trades. We'll see what NVIDIA does. NVIDIA's still fighting. All right, so we got the Case-Shiller data dropping in about 8 minutes. I'm sure you could use AI right now, Quantum, to be honest. I don't know if it's going to do anything good or bad for the market. Again, what I will say is it's pretty quiet right now. It's pretty quiet. So, you know, we'll see. But it's quiet right now. Look at the SPY try to hit that previous closing price. We'll see if it rejects there. That's probably a relevant level that you can pay attention to also. Yeah, HE, Hawaii Electric. Yeah, just really volatile too. What was the other one? It was VFS. Vinfast, man. Again, put options are interesting. I'm going to see what they look like after the open. But put options on Vinfast seem fun to watch. All right, so coming all the way back down, maybe that trend will hold. I'm still looking at Vinfast. former gifted kids are now being paid 130K a year to make React components. I like React Native, but yeah, basically the same thing. I actually like the component structure of React. You know, like you start to become, you start to like the format. The destination fee to get a Cybertruck delivered is $695, but for a Model Y, it's almost $1,400. Let's see where Apple goes here. Again, Spy tried to make a fight back. Let's watch the VWAP. I was trying to look for a VWAP rejection. We just didn't actually get it. All right, so again, the Spy held the VWAP, started to make a move back up. Again, we got the Case-Shiller data dropping in a couple minutes. And then we got Jolts at 10. How you guys doing? Green or red today? Green or red? What do you think about the Great Depression? You think the Fed can F up in its deja vu? I think the natural state of the market is that you're going to get periods of big mania followed by periods of Great Depression. You know, the market acts very similar to somebody with bipolar disorder or a manic depressive, you know, in which, you know, periods, bubbles occur, then those bubbles pop, and then you recess or depress, and then the cycle continues. Eventually, confidence starts to build back up, and eventually you get mania again. Bubbles inflate, pop, recess or depress, and then the cycle just continues over and over and over again. And that's what happens historically. That's what's happened over the last century or two. And not just the stock market, a lot of different areas of markets in general, tulips at one point in time. And so, you know, I think over time, that's something that you just need to prepare for and understand. It's very difficult to predict when the recessions or depressions are going to come out, when the crashes are going to happen. It's very difficult to predict that. Although everybody thinks that they somehow know when the next one's going to be, very few people actually know. Again, people were telling me a year ago we were about to crash, and I did draw this today. And again, I'm going to post this on social media because it's just freaking true. But like, look, we drew this today because this is something that, and again, a lot of people refuse to admit that this is what they did. A lot of people refuse to admit that they're guys that were in the middle of this, you know, but it's important to really understand, like, this is the constant state of markets. The market is going to crash. The market's going to crash. And they're saying it right here. And then when we finally correct a little bit, see, told you the market would crash, ... And like, this is the real state. Like, this is something that I see very often. I see this regularly. And again, we'll post this to Twitter, but again, here goes the Case-Shiller data. We got less than a minute, guys. We got less than a minute. Yeah, I'm good. No, I'm fine. All right, guys, here goes the Case-Shiller data. Expectations for this are for not are for minus 1.3 is the biggest report, the yearly report. The house price index composite 20 NSA year over year is minus 1.3% is what they're expecting. We got 20 seconds left, 20 seconds. And then we got Jolts at 10 in about an hour. But no, I'm good. I'm fine. All right, here we go. Here's this report. All right, so minus 1.2 is what the Case-Shiller showed up, minus 1.2. So slightly less of a decrease than expected, slightly more positive than expected for the HPI. Again, minus 1.2 is what showed up. The market hasn't really reacted to this at all, but minus 1.2 for the Case-Shiller report year over year. And again, the Case-Shiller is not the big one. Today, the big one is going to be Jolts is probably the biggest one, and then CB Consumer Confidence is relevant too, but we'll put this up on screen so people can see it. There's the link right there. You can kind of see it, but yeah. Yeah, but no, going back to what I said, this is what you see a lot in markets, right? And this is very accurate just in terms of like my viewers, man. I've had people that have been telling me the market was going to crash a year ago, you know, when the market was at lows, you know, and since then the market has been incredibly strong since then. Like the market has bounced back very big. The last 30 days we've had a slump, but the market is still up huge amounts. You know, I remember the market trying to break over 400 on the SPY. I remember the SPY trying to hold 400, and nobody thought the SPY would hold 400 at the time. Everybody was telling us the market was going to crash imminently. And, you know, again, very few people will admit that they've been right here. You know, very few people would admit that they've been right there. But that's what you see a lot. You see it. So the point to understand is that in the market, you get a constant flow of people telling, you get a constant flow of crash predictors. You get a constant flow of people telling you that the next market crash is imminent. And that happens universally throughout all periods, right? So like whether the market's doing good, people are saying the market's going to end a bubble. If the market's doing bad, they're saying we're on the start of a crash. Maybe we are, but I'm not gonna hold my breath for it, because again, to understand my perspective, I've been watching it through all of this. And so again, next we got Jolts. Yeah, we got Jolts. When in doubt, zoom out. And if you want to heart my page for good luck, if you want to heart a post for good luck, this is the post. Again, we got Jolts coming out. Hey, we got Jolts coming out. Again, if you want to heart a post for good luck, make sure it's this one. We'll see who the real supporters of the channel are. The market is going to crash is the equivalent of the guy in the street wearing a sack saying the world is ending. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Disney had a nice couple of days, back up to 84. I don't know anything about that JCW. No idea, man. No idea what that one's doing, brother. Did I forget the Jolts report? I think I did. Oh well. So again, we got Jolts job report coming out next. Again, market is rejecting the VWAP a little bit here. Yeah, all good. I appreciate the heart. Thanks. All right, so I'm actually pretty short biased in this. I might short a little bit more. All right, so we're in 50 shares short. 50 shares short of the SPY. Just kind of poking around a little bit. See if we can get a little breakdown here. Might pull up some futures markets as well. Today really is the day. Listen, man, I've heard it all. I really have. I've heard it every day. I've had people telling me the market was going to crash imminently every day for years. You know, imagine if you were me. Imagine if you were me and you got somebody telling you the market's going to crash every day for years. And then while they say that, the market just kind of, you know what I mean? What are you going to, what's your bias after that? Your bias is going to be like, maybe. You know, I never listen. Anything can happen. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe today's the day. I don't think it is, but maybe it is. I don't know. Man, I'm just getting punished on this short on the SPY. I'll probably end up cutting this pretty quickly. I'm not going to hold this one very long. We're back over VWAP already, which signifies choppiness. So a very choppy day, to be honest. I'm not complaining about anything. I'm trying to help traders understand. Like, again, I think new traders get talked into a lot of different things. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and cut that. So we lost like $10. But no, new traders get talked into a lot of different things. One of the things they get talked into is investing into terrible crap penny stocks that are just garbage. They put all their hard-earned money into these really obscure small cap companies because of social media, like pressure. And they usually just end up losing everything in those trades. You know, that's one of the ways new traders get taken advantage of. The other way retail, like young, naive traders get taken advantage of is when they enter the market. Everybody keeps telling them the market's about to crash. And I think a lot of them have confirmation bias, and maybe they disagree with the current political administration. Maybe they don't like whatever, and they want to see the world burn a little bit. And so I think all of that stuff combined causes them to have a lot of confirmation bias, and like they want the market to crash, right? They want the market to crash. They want to be right. And so a natural state, and then they pressure everybody else to do the same thing. And so new traders get stuck in that, and they just think they look at the market, they see how many people are bearish, like, you know, and they just kind of take their stance. But again, what people are missing out on there, and again, what people that have been saying the market is going to crash for the last year, and this is something I say every day, what they're missing out on is that the biggest statistical edge the market can ever give you, that's proven over a century of stats, is that the S&P, the NASDAQ, blue chips are going to go up long term, right? That's the biggest statistical edge the market ever gives you. It's proven, time tested. But yet a lot of people miss out on that edge because they get wrapped up in trying to predict the next stock market crash. And something that like long-term investors will try to tell you is like, you got to stop worrying so much about your entry and worry about your exit. And that's very true in trading. All right, so look, the SPY actually about to go green on the day or close to it. The previous closing price is 442.70s. Yeah, I saw how I was looking at VFS puts. I think a lot of people are looking at VFS puts, and they're not even open yet, so we don't even know what the true price of VFS puts are. But the one bundle was about 5K when I looked at it a second ago. Apple just went green on the day, and understandably so. I mean, this is a recent IPO, but it is up crazy amounts. Like if you look at a daily chart here, every candle represents a day. This thing has gone from about $20 a share, where it IPO'd, up to almost $100 a share. It's at 70s right now. I don't think many people think it's going to actually hold the gains it's put in. And so it seems like a pretty easy put option where this thing's probably going to be down at like $50 within a couple days, in my opinion. Maybe I'm wrong. It had its first red day in a minute yesterday. And so I think it's pretty likely that this thing's going to be at like $50 in the next couple days. But the issue is that you got to pay for that, right? You got to pay 5K for that risk. And not many people have 5K to risk. There's also the chance that it doesn't work out, and you're basically going to lose everything if it doesn't work out. If this thing continues to squeeze up over 100, while it's more probable that it's going to go down, it's not going to hold. Anything could happen, especially with recent IPOs. And this is a small float company too. So the float is very small here. And so the risk is just too much for me. I would take it, but the risk is just too high. Right. Like, listen, Ponzi, they can want whatever they want, man. And again, I'm not even saying I disagree with all that stuff, brother. I'm really not even saying I disagree. What I'm saying is that that sentiment has remained throughout decades of market activity, a century of market activity. You always have that sentiment. It's not a new sentiment. It's not anything new and different than what we've had for the last, century plus of sentiment, and so that's the mistake that they make, is they think that's some type of new sentiment that's just now about to play out. Man, listen, people have had that sentiment for a century. And again, thinking that you're going to be the one that gets it right in terms of timing, again, you might be. Maybe somebody does get it right in terms of timing. What I will say is that the odds are against you there, Yeah, I think the probabilities are there, Corey, for VFS to correct. Again, it's at $72 a share. I just don't think it's going to hold these gains. But if it does, you're going to lose 5K. And I don't know if I'm okay with risking 5K minimum. If it would let me buy cheaper options or like lesser options, that like I would consider it, but it's just too high. I don't feel like risking 5K on a gamble there. Yeah, I agree. New investors should understand charts, volume, PE ratio, market cap, float size, short float, EPS, revenue, guidance, like all this different stuff. They need to understand all of that. To be fair, all you have seen is 40 years up in the market, so it's easy to be complacent. I mean, that's not accurate either. Again, in 2000, you had the internet crash. In 2008, you had the mortgage crash, right? So we had a crash about 10 years ago, a little bit less than 10 years ago. And so it's not like we just have this huge drought of crashes. Like really in 2000, we had the internet crash. In 08, you had the mortgage crash. In 87, you had Black Monday. And, there's been crashes every 20 years or so. You know what I mean? So it's not like the market's just been in some upward only trend. If anything, we're just now coming out of like a little mini crash. So like people acting like the market's just been straight up. If anything, if you look at a weekly chart, we're kind of just now getting out of the 2021 like crash. So like we're kind of just getting out of that. And so it's not like, we have this big drought of crashes that we just haven't crashed in a long time. If anything, we're just now getting out of this. So we're kind of on the way out of this now, as opposed to like being about to do this. You know what I mean? We're kind of on the road out. And that's what a lot of people miss. And the market's not going to go down forever. Markets are not going to drop forever. Generally the long-term direction of markets is up. It's green. And so you got to understand that edge, in my opinion. But again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we do crash soon. I don't know. Implied volatility is crazy on VFS. Yeah, for sure, Andy. Again, I'm probably not going to mess with it. It's too much risk. it could again, I think in terms of likelihood, I think it's probably going to fall over the next couple weeks. But on the small chance that it doesn't, you can lose everything you put in it. And so you just gotta, again, calculate your risk there. For me, it's too much, but y'all make y'all's own decision. I have no idea. All right, we're gonna get ready to trade some futures too. Here's the Q. BSS is up there. All right, here's the NASDAQ, which is basically the Q. So here's the NASDAQ today. Since yesterday, here's the last day of market activity on the NASDAQ and futures. Jolts is expected to show up at 9.465 million. 9.465 million. CB consumer confidence is slated to show 116. If you don't know what Jolts is a survey done by the U.S. Bureau of Statistics that measures people leaving jobs. It collects data or job vacancies. It collects data from those different businesses about their employment, job openings, recruitment, hires, and separations. It defines job openings as all positions that are open, unfilled on the last business day of the month. The job is open only if it meets these three criteria. Number one, a specific position exists and there is work available. Number two, the job could start within the next 30 days, whether or not the establishment finds a suitable candidate during that time. And three, there is active recruiting for workers from outside the establishment. And so again, a higher reading here means more economic growth for job openings. So the Jolts job report, a higher than expected reading. Again, 9.465 million jobs are expected to be open. And again, a higher reading obviously means more employment, more economic growth, if that makes sense, right? So that's the thing to understand. We also have CB consumer confidence data dropping. It measures the level of confidence consumers have in the market, in the economy. When consumers are optimistic, they spend more. So a higher, now this is kind of an inverse inflation reading. So like a higher than expected reading here means more spending, which could mean more inflation as well. And again, expectations are 116. 116. Last time we showed 117. So that is the reports for today. Again, those reports drop in about 40 minutes. Yeah, y'all be careful today. All right, guys. So we got about 12 minutes, 11 minutes until the opening. Yeah, I'm seeing some Logan Paul drama here. Let me read this. Hold on. I got too many windows here. Little bounce in the NASDAQ. Look at the pop. Hmm. Yeah, who do y'all have, Dylan, Dennis, or Logan? I got to go with Logan, bro. Logan's about to take him. All right. John, that's a very good thought. Market ultimately goes up long term. That's what people miss. Like, people don't understand. Again, people they want to be cool. They want to bet against the markets. They want to call the next big market crash, and I get it. And a lot of them are pessimistic. A lot of them dislike the political, stuff we got going on, and so that makes them very bearish, right? But again, they're betting against the biggest long-term edge the market ever gives you. Short-term, anything could happen. When you zoom out more, like when you start looking at the market in terms of years, market's going up. Betting against that's silly. All right, so look, NASDAQ, very sideways trend. I haven't really traded, except for my little baby scat, like trades on the SPY. Mostly a sideways trend. Ooh, look at that drawing. Mostly a sideways trend here. So like mostly all we're getting is this. Very choppy, neutral trend. I don't know if anything. It's maybe slightly up, but it's definitely not easy range. It's like that might be it right there. But again, very choppy, neutral trend. We'll see if we hold. Watching the Q, which is the NASDAQ Q. You can see the NASDAQ on the right side, as well as VFS. I'm going to look and see what options cost. Apple trying to go green on the day. Tesla triple tops. Where's Tesla at right now? Let's put it up. Okay, I'm going to put up Tesla actually on the top screen. Tesla red still on the day at 237.80s. Let's see if we can get over the VWAP right there. Logan is not the best at trolling. Yeah, but Logan wins that fight. Logan's just a better. Again, Dylan Dennis, great at jiu-jitsu, great at Brazilian jiu-jitsu. Not the best boxer, not the best striker. You can look at his old fights. He's just not that good at striking. He probably beat me up, but like, is he going to beat Logan? Probably not. They're just hyping up the fight. My guess is they don't even dislike each other. They're just trying to hype up the fight. All right, NASDAQ starting to push up higher at almost 15.1. Apple now technically green on the day. Yeah, Andy, it's kind of sketchy, dude. I'm not touching it. It's too risky. Again, just to play the option right now, and again, it's not the open yet, so maybe that option price fluctuates. But just to play the option, you're going to have to spend $5K minimum, and that's a risky bet, man, because if it does fly, it can fly fast against me. I'm just not really trying to play with that. All right, look at Tesla back over VWAP, though. So Tesla over VWAP. All right. Yeah. All right. Sorry. Wife came in here asking me a question about something. But yeah, Tesla back over VWAP here at 238. 238's NASDAQ still sideways. Tesla over VWAP here. Apple rejecting a little bit though. That might drag the NASDAQ down. We got 5 minutes here. 5 minutes until the market opens. And we do have Jolts dropping this morning as well, guys. So we got Jolts dropping as well. Let me make sure this doesn't pop up here. Again, we do have Jolts job report dropping this evening or this morning. We do have Jolts dropping this morning. Okay, there we go. Fix it. But yeah, we do have Jolts dropping this morning. What the heck? Yeah. Big tech all the way. Surgery, remember, so yeah, one day soon you'll get your car. Yeah, I mean, obviously, guys, like full self-driving is the future, right? I mean, I think that's something that's very self-evident as well, in that like self-driving is the future of automobiles. Like that's very obvious, I think, right? Like the technology is there to where cars are going to drive themselves. My daughter and I had an argument a while back, and it went something like, hey, I can't parallel park, you know, or hey, what if when I start driving, I don't know how to parallel park? I told her, I said, look, in the next 10 years, you might not need to. You know, you might not need to know how to parallel park. I know right now, for instance, like our current SUV, and I'm not going to say what it is, but our current SUV will parallel park itself if we put it in the right mode. So like there's a mode that literally parallel parks itself. We don't have to do it. I haven't trusted it enough to do it yet. But again, regardless of whether it does it efficiently now, doesn't mean like, listen, in the next 5 or 10 years, that's the future, right? Doesn't matter what people want. And again, there's a lot of big oil propaganda because big oil certainly doesn't want pure self-driving electric vehicles. I promise you they don't. We're always going to need oil for lubricants. But if you think that they don't put out propaganda against EVs, like think about it objectively. Like if you're big oil, what's your biggest future threat? Genuinely think about that. What's your biggest future threat if you're big oil? Your biggest future threat is EVs taking over. And they are more efficient. And so the technology is already there. In 5 or 10 years, it's definitely going to be there to where cars are going to be driving themselves in 5 or 10 years. They already are to a certain extent now, but it's going to be much more common in a few years. And so I think you have to understand that truth, because that's just when you look at numbers, that's obviously something that's true. I have no idea, Ray, what Disney's going to do on any particular day. I really have no idea. Again, short term, I have no idea what anything's going to do. I see markets are actually starting to dip a little bit right now. I see a lot of stuff. I see Apple. Nvidia's starting to pump up, but I see like Disney dip. I see Apple dip. Must be is there some correlated news with these two, Apple and Disney? Is there any Apple Disney news? I see FedEx express shipping rate is going to increase. Yeah, but again, if you think they're not putting out propaganda on that stuff. So a political politician said he reiterated his opposition to legalize cannabis. Yeah, I think it's silly. He blamed it on like fentanyl. like, listen, and he says drugs are a real problem. The problem, though, is that the people sending these politicians like donations, like PAC money, right? The who do you think is sending these guys PAC money to keep cannabis illegal? It's big pharma, right? They're pushing out worse drugs to people, and they hope cannabis stays illegal because of that. They understand if cannabis is legalized, people might not need their drugs as much. That's really where this sentiment is coming from, and it's unfortunate that it's like that. Anyway, Tesla pushing up. It's at 239s right now, 239s, hitting that previous closing price. Again, the NASDAQ has been in a very sideways trend, maybe waiting for Jolts data coming out today. Again, but there's the opening bell. Again, Tesla just went green on the day. Tesla now effectively green. Yeah, but I mean, quantum, by that in mind, how many people do, like, I see so many people that just absolutely hate EV and they push big oil talking points constantly, right? And like, I understand it. You're always going to need lubricants. Lubricants are always going to be a thing, right? But I don't know how many people like are taking the other side of EV. And again, I'm not saying it's pure propaganda, but I'm saying if you think it has no influence, I think that's wrong as well, of course. And again, maybe I'm wrong. You know, maybe I'm just paranoid. I don't know, but I don't like to be manipulated. Again, Target all the way up to 124s. So Target rising back up again, trying to hold. We're still pretty sideways, to be honest here. I'm going to put up NVIDIA on the right side so we can kind of get a glimpse of what NVIDIA looks like as well as Tesla, but it's still pretty sideways here. Hawaii Electric. Let's see what that one's doing. It's falling back down too. Apple's starting to come back a little bit. I've been very flat day on the NASDAQ here. I don't like any of this right now. It's just too sideways. I see NVIDIA here on the bottom. Very flat as well. Not really any direction, confidence for me. Apple trying to hold. All right, there goes NVIDIA and Tesla moving back up some. So NVIDIA and Tesla heading up. Again, there goes Apple. Apple popping back up as well. So we got some upward movement. Again, we're at 239.50s. Yeah, I see Hawaii Electric falling back down. I do see a dip here. And again, we do have 25 minutes or so before the Jolts and Apple pushing up back up to basically 180 right now. Just tapped 180. I see some strong sentiment here. We're going to get ready to trade, but there goes Tesla fall. Let's watch NVIDIA here. NVIDIA might move everything, but Apple surging up. It's the most heavily weighted stock. Yeah, we don't have a command for the song. Again, Apple surging up, about to go green on the day. Cruise lines dumping. Again, Tesla at 240s. Nvidia testing highs, about to go green on the day. So Nvidia testing highs right at that previous closing price. Again, we're also going to throw it in sub only mode. So if you have not already hit the sub button, we need less than 200 subs to hit 114,000. And so, hey, hit that sub button, hit the notification bell. Look at this big pop at the NASDAQ. Tesla pushing up over 240s now as well. Green action and everything basically today. What's AMC doing now? AMC all the way down to the 11s. We haven't had one red candle since the opening bell, though. That's the problem. So I'm not buying this because we haven't had one actual red candle since the opening bell. Just too green. Market's too green right now for me. We need better price action. Maybe a pullback we can attack, but then we got a reversal play potential. So yeah, I'm not telling anybody to buy or sell. I have no idea what you should do. Nvidia pulling back down to the VWAP here. That's usually going to dip markets a little bit. Let's watch it, though. If it cracks under VWAP, it could change trends of the market here. Tesla's starting to fall down. Again, Nvidia's right at that VWAP level. It's cracking under it now. Again, that might change trends of the market. We got to let things settle a little bit first. Skechers keeps going. What's Skechers doing, man? All right, Apple over the previous closing price, now green. Skechers is up some. I mean, it's not the craziest gains in the world. If you look at Skechers, SKX, I mean, it's up a little bit, but it's not like it's going parabolic or anything. It's barely green on the day. So maybe, but I'm not super impressed by it. Here's Tesla again. All right, I'm going to buy this dip, I guess. All right, there's a little bounce. Boom. We had it. Keep going. All right, back up. Man, look at Tesla rip. Tesla breaking highs. All right, so we just made about 75 bucks on the day. Just locked in some profit there. See what the rest of the day gives us. Got a little bit of a cushion on the day, so that's nice. See if we buy another dip. Watching Tesla here, though. Tesla hit 240.50s and then pulled back some. Hey, what's up, Brandon? Yeah, man, we're pumping towards it, dude. Yeah, we try. Yeah, so we got another little dip here. I don't like Nvidia coming back down, but I think Nvidia could bounce where it is. So we're going to buy this and just sit since we got a cushion, maybe add 2 contracts here, but it is pretty early to trade. All right, so we got 2 contracts here. This will be it. We're not going to add any more to this. Well, I mean, we're pretty flat on the day now after this loss. But man, what a drop. It shows you how quickly the NASDAQ can go against you. Almost green here. The problem is Nvidia, though. Nvidia's breaking down. I'm going to cut this and get out mostly flat on the day. I don't like that move. So again, luckily we built up a cushion ahead of time. I just don't like that move. Nvidia starting to test 264s, which is the risk. So yeah. My stock trades are actually doing pretty good, though. We're up 2+ on the day. Jolts is okay. It might move the market some. We don't know how much, but it might move the market some. You're going to see how much Nvidia and Tesla bounce. I think those are going to be big influence over markets. Jolts and CB consumer confidence are relatively big reports. I mean, they're not like CPI or PPI or jobless claims or anything like that, but they're still somewhat relevant for market activity. And again, they drop in about 20 minutes. So. Boost me, I'm heavy on Skechers. What's Skechers doing? I hear people talking about it. Tesla testing the VWAP. Skechers is up, but it's not that up. You know? Yeah, we're green on, or we're flat on the day. Or now we're a little green. All right, so we are up about 50 bucks in the same account. You know, we took a little swing on the E-mini. Here's the P&L today. Not the prettiest chart, but we are now up about 50 bucks. And again, I'm watching Nvidia start to run. This might be a little bounce spot, but there's also risk here. Strong Jolts numbers. Not necessarily. So strong Jolts numbers means economic growth, right? So like strong Jolts numbers means the economy is growing. Means more jobs are opening up, more employment is essentially happening. Look at the turn in markets here, guys. Wow. Watch Tesla and Nvidia. Nvidia and Tesla are two very important stocks to pay attention to. Again, the S&P moving up strong too. Nvidia starting to test these highs. Look at Tesla rise, Nvidia rise. We're starting to see rip ups in a lot of different stocks. Wow. Wow, look at Tesla, Nvidia rise here, guys. What a move. Nvidia back up to 470s. All right, so we just scalped a little bit more. You can kind of see our gains right now. After this big dip, we're back up to being up about $110 on the day or so, $110. Nvidia is just ramping up, dude. Wow. Nvidia is pumping up. What a move. Yeah, the Jolts report is not leaked. I mean, we can look to see. I'll see if the leak is actually right, but I don't think it is. Usually it's just people trying to manipulate the market. Again, here goes Jolts. Yeah, I don't see any leak. Yeah, I see no leak. All right, guys, we got 15 minutes before Jolts. Nvidia is ramping up to 470s. Tesla might be a little dip bounce. All right, so we might buy a little pullback here on the NASDAQ. We got a little cushion on the day. Just a small initial pullback here first. One contract since it's been a little volatile today too. A lot of the time we'll get like a little baby dip and then a retracement back up, but we're going to keep it one contract, try to build up another cushion if we get a test of the highs again. There's the retracement back up. Not enough for us yet though. $30, $50, $75. Okay, we'll take that. All right, so once we got 75, now we're up about 160 on the day. Here's the P&L. Kind of going back and forth. But again, Tesla's starting to test highs. NVIDIA consolidating around highs. Pretty good open this morning. Yeah, there's the test of the high level. Like I said, man, you know, I've seen these trends play out a lot. You know, I've seen these trends play out pretty often. Here's NVIDIA breaking highs again at 472s. There's Tesla up there, 241s. How you guys doing today? Red or green so far? Again, we got Jolts report dropping in. A couple minutes here for Jolts. We got 15. Look at the NASDAQ flying up here, man. Wow. Look at Tesla break highs again. Wow, man. Tesla at 240, almost 242s. Stocks are doing great. Tesla's doing good too. What a move here. Yeah, we'll see if we settle down a little bit now. Taking some profit off in Target. Again, here's our swing trades for the day. Currently on our swings, we are up $448 on our investment swings. So not a bad day for stocks. You'd love to see it. Watching Target just rip. Take a little bit more off here. All right, guys. Jolts report in 13 minutes. 13 minutes. NASDAQ still flying up today. We're green and everything, although it's a slight day for a lot of this stuff. Stocks are all pretty green, following all the big caps up. Specifically, Apple looking really nice. Make sure, yeah, Apple is doing beautifully here. Let me make sure they don't pay a divvy anytime soon to stay in my full size right now. The last divvy for Apple was paid out a couple days ago. So, yeah, I'm not going to mess with that. I'm just going to go ahead and take some profit in this thing. Not a lot. I'm trying to keep this one as an investment, but we're green enough on it today to where we can lock some of that in. Target's still surging higher. Again, Jolts report. Again, we're at 181 for Apple. 181 for Apple. Target breaking highs again. It's a good day for my swing trades. I'll say that. Tesla's green. A lot of the other stocks are green too. I'm holding a lot of these over the next 2 weeks because I can. I get dividend payments in some of these over the next few days. Like in the first couple weeks of September is when I get the divvy payments for a lot of these. So again, we got 10 minutes here. 10 minutes. I'll put the timer up. All right, so we got the timer up in the corner here. 10 minutes until the Jolts report. I'll put this up on the screen so you guys can see it. All right, so the Jolts job report and CB consumer confidence data going to be released right at 10 a.m. Ooh, Target. You love to see it. All right, so we just scaled out of a bunch of Target too, since we can. Lock that in. Does Target pay a divvy? Let me see, when does Target actually pay out their divvy? Okay, I'm gonna sit on the rest of this. They pay a divvy of $9 and or on 9.10, so I gotta sit on Targets as well. All right, finally starting to get a dip. We'll try to buy a little bit into this dip. I'm expecting it to be a little bit larger of a pullback here, and we do have Jolts data in 10 minutes. Also, hit that subscribe button, guys. Again, we're only about 200 subs away from hitting 114,000 subs. So if you have not yet, try it one time. It might feel good. Subscribe, team, if you haven't yet. Again, for Jerome Powell was a fun stream. We cover all the major economic data, retail sales, all that good stuff live every week. We don't sell a course. We don't claim to be experts. We put out everything for free. So the date of record for like Target, for instance, is 8/16. All right, you okay?
Yeah.
All right, sorry guys. Carrie was talking to me about something. Look at the market break highs again here, man. Wow. Again, Target testing highs again. I'm not going to sell anymore though. Apple testing highs again. Again, we're too extended on the upside for me to really want to push, but the market's loving this. A very big day for market activity here. I have no idea what to expect from the Jolts report. I genuinely no idea here. I don't know if we're going to get good data, bad data. What I will say is if you want to day trade these economic releases, check out TopStep. TopStep is the most legit features funded program in the world. People complain about it, but they don't really understand. Like, day trading is incredibly risky. A large majority of people, 90% plus, are going to lose day trading. Doesn't matter if they go through TopStep or anywhere else. And so most people are going to fail TopStep, and that's where a lot of the heat comes from. Was most people are just mad they're not profitable. But it's so much cheaper to lose on TopStep. What they do is they give you a demo, they test your skill. If you can hit the target while following their rules, they fund you the same amount as the demo, between 50K to 150K. And again, most people are going to fail, but that's kind of the point, is that it's a lot cheaper to lose a TopStep account than to put up 5K yourself and try to day trade that and lose that. Again, most people are going to fail day trading, not on TopStep, but anywhere. And TopStep limits your risk. But if you pass it, there's a 90% split once you're funded. You get to keep your first 10K in profit. And again, they pay out millions in actual withdrawals every year, fund thousands of traders a year. It's just a great middle ground of pressure where you learn how to trade under pressure, but not the full risk of putting up the money yourself. And in the futures market, you can day trade the S&P 500 and what's called the NASDAQ, the SPY, the Q basically, and what's called the NQ. And again, it's just really useful. If you want to check it out, here's the link. They are a sponsor of mine, and so I'm definitely biased because they pay me money. But again, very useful for limiting your risk when you're learning to day trade. And again, here goes this report in 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. I'm expecting a jolt to the market with Jolts. Again, the expectation for Jolts is for 9.465 million. 9.465 million. I'll put this up on the chat. 9.465 million is what they're expecting. All right. Okay, yeah, just leave it right there. Yeah, you can. All right, love you. All right, Target's still breaking highs. I'm not going to sell anymore because, again, I want to take advantage of the divvy, but we're nicely green. If you want to see my Target trade, just to put this into perspective here, since people act like I'm always losing or whatever, you kind of see what I'm green on there. I'm holding 75 shares left. I'll hold that for the divvy date. Again, Tesla's still pumping up, though. Looks good. Again, CB consumer confidence data is expected at 116. We got the expectations up on screen now. So we do have the expectations up on screen now, so you can check it. And again, basically with both of these, higher number is going to mean more economic growth, right? So both of these signal higher economic growth if they come in better than expected. We still got to wait a little bit. I'm using, there's a bunch of different platforms you can use. Matthias, sorry if I'm getting that wrong. Matt, there's a bunch of different platforms you can use. I'm using Quant Tower, which I've tried Trade Evade, I've tried TradingView. Quant Tower is by far my favorite. It's just the most useful one they have. I like it the most, but it is a subjective thing. What's the move on Tesla? Yeah, Tesla's looking good, but it's not going to go up forever. And so again, we're past the point now where we've pushed up so much at the opening bell, in which I think there's just a lot of risk buying right now. In terms of buying, I think there's just a lot of risk here. All right, guys, we got 3 minutes before Jolts. 3 minutes. CB consumer confidence. Well, there's a bunch of different platforms to choose from, Matthias. I think. Well, no, they don't. They have a number of different platforms you can choose from, right? You can use TradingView. You can use Quant Tower. I know they had Trade Evade, but I think they ran into some issues with Trade Evade. But there's a bunch of different platforms you can use there. Again, man, Target pushing up more. Take a little piece of that off again. Because we can. We're up about 500 on our stock trades today. Apple's nicely green too. Yeah, so the Jolts report's pretty big. I mean, we got like 600 people here, a little bit less than 600, so it's not a huge release. Like generally, like the big releases, my channel, like Jerome Powell press conferences will have like 5, 6, 7, 8,000 people during Jerome Powell's press conferences here, like simultaneous viewers. So we'll get like 30 or 40K viewers total. CPI will get like 3,000 or so, 4,000, 5,000 sometimes. PPI will get 2,000 or 3,000 generally. GDP will get over 1,000 usually. The Jolts report will probably have what, like 600, 700 people here. And again, it drops in less than 2 minutes, guys. Less than 2 minutes. Make sure you hit the live button next to the play button. Make sure you're fully caught up on stream. You want to make sure you want to make sure your live button looks like this, guys. So you want to make sure your live button looks like this to make sure you're fully caught up on stream. And again, we're going to cover the data as soon as it drops. You want to make sure it's red. Click the live button to make sure you're caught up. If it's not, we got about a minute and a half left, guys. About a minute and a half left. Apple surging back up. But man, Target's been one of the greatest winners of the day here. Target has been surging up. All right, baby. Yeah, exactly, Quantum. So I'm looking at my viewers, you know, like again, like there's some day trading streamers that I can't really compete with in terms of like normal everyday views. But when it comes to big economic data, we're doing way better than they are on those big economic reports. And so it varies. Like I'm not really a day trading guru or trying to be. I'm more of just an economic channel. Like we cover economic data, we cover the stock market news, and just kind of we're a broad economic market channel, not really a day trading guru channel. But again, I do day trade every day, of course, and we are green day trading today. I just don't want to claim to be an expert. I'm not trying to be another day trading guru claiming to be an expert selling a course. I'm not judging people that do, but I'm not trying to be that. You can see we're up about 160 on the day, which is pretty small for a funded account program. And we have gotten funded in 2 different Top Step accounts this year, or this month, I mean. All right, guys, we got 20 seconds, 20 seconds. All right, guys, here goes the news release. 15 seconds. We're going to put it in sub-only mode as well, so if you haven't already, subscribe. Oh, I guess we already have sub-only mode. All right, but here's the report. All right, there's the release right there. There's Jolts. Waiting for the report to drop. Market looks green. I don't see the report out yet. So I don't know if it's out for the market at all yet. Yeah, let me know if you guys see it. This one I'm not showing. Yeah, I don't think they've reported Jolts yet on most of the platforms. I'm seeing the market is actually up really nicely here. So the market is actually very green. I'm going to take a little bit more off target. Apple just broke highs again. But I don't see Jolts yet. All right, Jolts job, 8.827 million, 8.827 million. So noticeably under expected, 8.827 million. I don't see CB consumer confidence, but 8.827 million is what they showed. 8.827 million. All right, here's the Jolts report numbers, 8.827 million versus 9.645 million. Market seems to love this report. It's up a lot. We're getting green action and everything today, which is nice. Target just surging up. Yeah, so I mean, I think this is good for markets, and I'm gonna explain why the market's probably reacting positively to this. The market's probably reacting positively to this. So consumer confidence came in at 106.1 versus 116. The market's probably reacting positively to this because less job openings means less spending and in turn less inflation, right? So less job openings means less spending and in turn less inflation. That's the logic of this report. That is why the market liked this report, is because it means ultimately less inflationary problems, right? It means less inflation problems if less people are spending because less people are working. That means prices might go down, right? And the market fears inflation for sure right now, especially with the rate hikes and all that stuff looming. And the market so far loving this report here. Tesla rip it up to 244s. NASDAQ all the way up to 15.2K. Just took a little bit more off. Today's a profit-taking day for me. If you look at my swing trades, this is what we're up on the day right now. Up about $664. Not a bad little day for swings. And so if you haven't already, again, check out Top Step. Top Step funded account program in futures. Great way to learn how to day trade without taking on too much risk. The base combine's $49. What they're going to do is they're going to give you a demo, test your skill. If you can hit the targets on their demo, which is a 3-to-2 ratio, 2-to-3 ratio. Max loss versus profit target, a 2-to-3 ratio, which is a reasonable ratio. If you can pass that, they fund you 50K up to 150K with a 90% split. It's the most legit one in the world. It's a great way to limit your risk when you're first getting started in trading. The base combine's only $49, and you can day trade the S&P and what's called the E-mini, the NASDAQ, and what's called the NQ, the Dow, and what's called the YM, and a bunch of other symbols and markets. So if you want to check it out, here's the link. Another one of my sponsors is a company called Chart Prime. It's a trading view indicator service that you can use in stocks, crypto, forex, futures. Man, look at the market pump though, man. Tesla up to almost 265s. Man, wow. What a day. What a open, I guess I should say. Again, but one of my sponsors is a company called Chart Prime. Again, one thing that's really dope about this company is like you can kind of see here. This is a 1-minute chart. What I like using for shorter term time frames is the Market Oracle Pro. I think it's meant for pro day traders, but I'm not 100% sure. And you can kind of see they give you these alerts. It's custom trading view alerts, so you can use them on stocks, crypto, forex, futures. You can see they draw these triangle patterns if you want to see them on TradingView. They show you possible alerts. So like, look at this buy signal here. and then huge rip. Sell signal here, you got a couple drops afterwards. Sell signal here, you got a couple drops. Buy signal here, you got a nice little bounce. Buy signal here, you got really nice bounce action. Sell signal here, you got really nice drop action. Buy signal here, you got really nice bounces. And so I can't really fake showing you this. Like, this is a sponsor of mine, so I'm biased, but like genuinely useful in my opinion. And again, you can use them on any time frame. Another one of my favorite time frames is an hourly time frame, because I think the Market Oracle Pro, when you see these trends, look, you can see long-term trends and trend breaks, and look at how well the break of that trend showed. But like, look at how accurate this can be. And again, I can't fake what I'm about to show you. But I also can't guarantee you're going to make money. But look, buy signal here. Look at, these are hourly candles. This is days of upward movement afterwards. Sell signal here, days of drops afterwards. Buy signal here, hours of bounces. Sell signal here, hours of drops. Buy signal here, hours of bounces. This one might have been wrong. Buy signal here, again, nice bounces. So again, out of, let's see how many, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, only one of them didn't work on an hourly chart. And this is just such a small piece of what they offer. It's only $40 a month. And so again, if you want to check out my sponsors, a great way to help support the channel. Again, I'm definitely biased. I can't guarantee you're going to make money, and I'm certainly biased because they pay me money. But if you want to check them out, here is the link. I'll put that up in the description as well. And yeah, check them out. Anyways, guys, let me know what the market looks like today, man. Market is just flying up, man. NVIDIA all the way back up to almost 480s. Tesla has been the big one that has so much strength today, man. Look at Tesla run. Crazy big run, honestly. Let's see if it holds. I mean, it doesn't mean much. We've been on a slump. Tomorrow is actually a really big day, OD. So tomorrow is actually a really big day. So tomorrow, yeah, so tomorrow is actually a really big day. Tomorrow we have non-farm employment change data. So we got non-farm data tomorrow, followed by, we got non-farm data. We got MBA 30-year mortgage rate data. We've got GDP data tomorrow. And so GDP, probably the biggest one. Expectations are 2.4% for GDP, 2.4%, a much better expectation for GDP. And again, with recession fears and all this stuff, GDP is going to be very relevant. We've got the prelim payroll data and non-farm employment change data. Expectations for that are 195,000. And then we got pending home sales. And so pending home sales drop tomorrow. My expectations are minus 0.1%. And we will stream all of this live on stream like we always do, team. So if you haven't already, yeah, data trends are going to break, right? So data, one thing I always say, Quantum says the AI charts seem to be good, but I've noticed that outside data trends tends to break, so I wouldn't trust it around these times. Yeah, I mean, one of the things I'm always very honest about, guys. Whoa, man. Wow, dude, I'm sorry. I'm just really nicely green. We're up like $720 on our swings today. So check this out. We are up $730 today on our swings. You love to see it. You love to see it, honestly. But yeah, anyways, one thing I always try to tell people is that fundamentals are going to trump technicals every time, right? So anytime we get a fundamental economic release like this, it doesn't matter what technical pattern shows up on the chart. It could be the best technical pattern ever, right? If the fundamental data comes in positive, the market's probably going to go up. If the fundamental data comes in negative, the market's probably going to go down. It could be the best technical triangle pattern or whatever it is. Again, that's what a lot of traders misunderstand. Like, fundamentals are always going to trump technicals in terms of relevancy to the market action, right? So in terms of market moves, a fundamental release is going to trump a technical pattern every single freaking time. And for whatever reason, people rely solely on technicals for long-term price action. It just seems like a bad idea. Again, because if CPI data, if unemployment data, if GDP data comes in good or bad, it's going to trump any technical pattern on that chart. It doesn't matter what the technical pattern is. Fundamental trumps technicals. And that's the thing that you have to understand. And that's very true. It's time tested, you know. So just be smart, guys. Anyways, love you all. Y'all be safe. I'll see you guys later. Y'all be good. Nice green day and everything. And I'll see you guys a little bit later. We'll be back tomorrow morning dropping all this big reports, all this big data. And again, let me know what you guys think. But yeah, big release tomorrow with GDP data, non-farm data all coming out tomorrow. So very relevant, very important release. And yeah, it should be fun. Again, check out Top Step. Check out all the other sponsors here. And I'll see you guys later. Good luck.